Hey there. As you know, Accountable is an app that was built to make freelancers' life easier. We are in constant contact with freelancers from all over Belgium who work in many different areas. Although their activities may be different, they are all subject to the same fundamentals of financing and accounting. In our unique position, we are able to help self-employed make financially responsible decisions, making sure that they're always one step ahead and that they can live a healthy work-life balance. If you're just starting your journey as a self-employed, or if you're having trouble keeping up, here are a few tips to help you stay on top of your finances. Okay, I'll start with a boring one, but they get better, I promise. Tax prepayments. If you are in your first 3 years of self-employment, there are financial incentives for you to pay your taxes in advance. We'll post a link below with the exact details, but sometimes the earlier you pay your taxes, the better. If you don't have the money to pay your taxes up front, some banks can even loan you money to help you capture these fiscal incentives. Yeah, you heard me right. Banks will loan you money to pay your taxes. But often, the difference between your interest rates, which is deductible by the way, and the tax advantage that you get from prepaying your taxes makes it worth it. So depending on your situation, this might be interesting for you. Insurances. The financially responsible freelancer knows that you never know what can happen, and it's always good to plan for a rainy day. There are insurances for your tools, especially if they're expensive, and there are also insurances for guaranteed revenue, for example, if at any point you are incapable of working. Okay, here's my favorite one. A financially responsible self-employed must have an emergency fund, or what I call you money. Freelancers have an unpredictable income stream. It's always good to plan for periods of time with no work or maybe gaps between clients. We would definitely recommend putting some money aside to make sure that you're safe in case this happens. But more importantly, having money on the side will give you the confidence in negotiations to know that you can always walk away. This will help you gain the freedom to pursue clients that you really want to work with, clients who respect your conditions, who appreciate your work. That's why it's called you money. Another tip is not to confuse revenue and profits. You're in business to make profit, not revenue. Make sure that you measure the exact costs and resources that you need to deliver your product, and always add a healthy margin of profit over that. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Our next tip is about expenses. It's a very common mistake in the first years of self-employment to just make expenses because it lowers your taxable income. But it's not always true. It's still money going out of your business. And be careful, some things are deductible, but not all expenses are 100% deductible. So that is still money that you're taking out of your profit and spending it on things that might not be essential for your business. Next tip, client contracts and engagements. We're sure that you have a great relationship with your clients, but it never hurts to put things in writing and sign a contract. This will definitely come in handy should there be a time where you need to go back to the deliverables or the agreements that you had. This might actually help you look more professional. It might help you increase your rates, and there's no reason for any client to ever be bothered by this. Measurement. Measure your time spent on each project. Don't forget to include the time spent negotiating, the emails, the phone calls, the preparations, the delivery, and the feedback rounds if it applies. All that is part of the delivery of your service. You might be surprised by how much time each task actually takes you. Everything that can be measured can be improved. Payment terms. This is very important. A lot of freelancers go out of business because people don't pay their invoices on time. Make sure that your invoices have date limits and don't tolerate late payments. You might find yourself in a situation where you're paying for VAT for an invoice that you've sent but haven't received the payment for. And that's money that comes out of your pockets. We know it's not always easy, but in the best of cases, always try to have at least part of your invoice paid before you start working. Our last tip, and maybe the most important, is to reach out. Talk to your peers. Talk about money, talk about your challenges. Make sure that your experience and your price is on par with the market. Make sure that you keep learning. Maybe the people around you have been through what you're going through right now and can offer helpful advice. The financially responsible self-employed know that they are not alone and they can always ask for help. In the Accountable app, you'll get plenty more tips and they will be catered to your specific situation. That being said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer your questions in a future video. Cheers.